Hello, welcome. This is my first recording ever, and I hope you like it. This is about design, a little bit about music, and about architecture. It's meant for first year architecture students, but it's also meant for a lot of my IT students whom I've taught software designing. It's about design in general. So, where do we start? Okay, the objective of this is to get the confidence to do original stuff, the speed of doing things, and then doing instead of just thinking of doing. Okay, those are the kind of things which I will be talking about in this first lesson. Many times when people see me work, they think that I just talk and don't produce, because I kind of jump all over the place and then it's a little confusing. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about and you'll get the essence of what this is about. Hopefully it may pick a little bit of music along the way. I'm not a musician as such. I learnt a little bit here and there, and then I have this fantasy that I can play some music. So I chose this medium to explain design is because sometimes it's important to look at your subject from a slightly different angle, a tangential angle. Look at it from a different side. And that may give a better insight, because sometimes when you talk directly about about a subject, it's not. It's like it's a boring lecture which people tell, do this and don't do that, do this, do that, do this, don't do that. So here I'm talking about music. So it also serves another purpose, because a lot of people have asked me that teach me music, teach me how to play the guitar and all that. So maybe this may help them also. Okay, so where do we start? The first thing is get the small things out of the way. What does that mean to an architect, a student who's learning architecture? You have to know your instruments. Okay, let me see. This is a video which I'm taping. So I need a microphone, I need a guitar, I need a computer. That's my iMac, which is helping me do this. I have a mixer below which is doing some small mixing and things like that. So you should know your instruments. You should know the things which you use to do your work. You should respect it, and you should know the basic principles by which these things work. Okay, so get the small things out of the way. Now, many people get stuck getting the small things out of the way. So they say, oh, I have to play the guitar, so I'll first start with this first fret, then the second fret, third fret, and they'll go on and on like that. No, when I say get the small things out of the way, means keep that in one corner of your mind. Okay, there are small things which may pull you down, so you need to get them out of the way as quickly as possible. Don't get worried about that. You know that, okay, you have a guitar, you have problems with the guitar, you don't understand various parts of the guitar, you don't understand your instruments too well. Don't dwell too much on it. Learn as much as you can. Go do your main stuff, and then when this thing keeps irritating you, go solve those small things also, and eventually all the small things will be out of the way. So get it out of the way as soon as possible, but don't get worried. Keep forgiving yourself. Doesn't matter. You are just beginning designing, so it's fine. You're beginning how to learn a guitar, so it's fine. People who start learning the guitar, one of the commonest reasons why people stop playing the guitar is because the tips of your finger has to get some calluses, otherwise they hurt like hell. So the beginner, when he's playing this guitar, he will have all kinds of pain here, and then it takes time and patience. So this is a little thing which you have to get out of the way. This will come, this calluses will come, and then you won't feel the pain, and you'll hear the music instead of the pain. Surprisingly, many people get stuck there and then won't proceed ahead. Similarly, an architect will get stuck in that, I don't know how to do the drafting. I don't know whether the line should be drawn like this or like that. Oh God, what will the teacher say? Should I draw like this? Should I draw like... Okay, Baba, the teacher may hassle you sometimes, so it doesn't matter. Get over it. A software designer, a student learning software, will get in syntax and I don't know the syntax of this. Oh God, I have to learn. Where do I put the semicolon? Where do I put the braces? Okay, you may make a mistake here and there. It won't work. The compiler or the IDE which you're using will tell you where your errors are. So learn that. So get the small things out of the way. And as you do that, you can always come up with your original stuff. You have to keep talking about designing. You have to tell something. What is your main thing? Your main thing is not to worry about what your instrument does or what your T-square does or what your compiler does. The main thing is that there is something you have to produce as a designer. And that's your main thing. Okay. So that comes to the question. What is design? What is design? Design is an expression of an intention. What does that mean? That's a very, very wide statement. It basically means you have an intention to solve a problem somewhere. As a musician, you have a problem here, somewhere here. And you want to get that out. So you have to take it out on your instrument. As an architect, you see problems in spaces and how spaces are used and how things are used. So you want to solve that, get it all right. As a software developer, you may see some things which is not being done correctly. Certain algorithms, certain ways of doing things are not efficient or it's not happening properly. So there's a problem there. So you have an intention to solve that. So everywhere there's an intention. But you can't sit on the side and say, I have the intention to produce music. That will not produce music. You have to express it. So designing is the expression of an intention. And this is as generous statement I can make as far as design is concerned. Okay, many people think that, what's it about? How do you express? Yeah, we need to know how to express. So eventually, if this lecture, next lecture, a few lectures down, you may come to know a few things about how do you express things. One of the things which I avoid telling people is what should be designing as such, because designing anything is so vast. There's so many beautiful things which you can make. So to tell a student that, don't get that right. You got a curve wrong and you got this square, this thing, that's not right. And those kind of things I really don't think I need to do because of various things. Like it's like music, No, this chord is bad. You can't play this chord. No, everything is nice, provided it's in its right context. In certain other contexts, it may be bad. No, doesn't go. Probably doesn't go. Okay, somebody better than me may still make it go, but certain things don't go. So certain things are good, certain things, the same thing can be bad in another context. So to tell something which is bad, this is bad, this particular design is bad. So I don't want to do that. That you can figure it out on its own. Like somebody said, I think Aerosmith, life is a journey, not a destination. So designing is a journey, and you have to get the journey right. You have to point yourself in the right direction. Then only you'll get the right destination. So let's worry about the journey, not the destination. So the destination will arrive provided the journey is right. So my concentration is to talk about the journey. So that's why I say that designing is the expression of an intention. So let's start with something as simple as that. So you have an intention, something you want to do nice, some problem you want to solve, and you need to express it. Then keep that always in front of you, that you have to solve a problem. You have to solve a problem, a set of problems, and that's your intention. Now you have to get that intention out in the real world. You are a musician. If you are a couch musician, is there a term like that? You are a musician who just listens to music. That doesn't make you a musician. You're just listening to music. So you're just getting vicarious pleasure. So you can't be a vicarious designer. It doesn't exist. You have to be an actual designer. That means you have to express your intention out in the real world. Now, while doing that, you'll make mistakes. Okay, I made a mistake. It was deliberate, but prove the point. So, when you have a mistake, don't dwell on it. You have to correct it. You have to rectify it. You have to keep rectifying it. And you can get so good at it that if you see live shows of really good musicians, you'll be amazed the amount of mistakes they make while playing music. Lots and lots of mistakes. But they don't dwell on it. They just continue. And in that continuum, you get so mesmerized with that whole cycle of things which is going around in front of you in a live music, that all the mistakes are forgiven and forgotten, and you finally remember the final music. Similarly, for an architect, for a student of architecture or design, software design also, don't dwell on things too long. Don't worry that you don't, oh God, this is not working out. Okay, it doesn't work out. Move to the next thing. Keep rotating. So that's like a potter making a pot. You have to keep rotating the potter's wheel. Got too many analogies. So potter, music, lots of things together. They all talk about design. So that potter's approach is what happens even when you learn something. Learning how to play the guitar, so you have to get the small things out of the way. But you don't dwell on the small things, so you integrate it into your potter process. So you are doing the potter because you have this, you are a potter because you have this intention and you want to express that intention out to the real world. So you continue doing that. And as you do that, you keep removing the small things out of the way. So you know what a guitar is, you know what a fret is, you know what a fretboard is. These are the frets, these horizontal lines which you see. They are not lines, they are called frets. These are the strings, so you come to know the strings. These are called the machine heads. That's a neck. There's a rod inside this, that's called a truss rod. What's the main objective is to produce things. You have to produce. Okay, when I learned a few chords are a set of notes which you play together. You can get a book on music which will tell you which all notes have to be pressed to form a chord. So I'm playing the G. What I remember is that I got so excited, I said, forget all the thing, I want to write some song. So I wrote this. don't feel good. So I wake up in the morning and I'm still crying, 'cause I've been thinking about you, thinking about the good times we had, your laughter, the smile, the way you walk, they all haunt me. One day you decide to leave alone, and you sit out on your own, leaving me with this bottle of morning blues. Okay. That was nice. I felt nice. I don't know if it's good or bad or what. These were the first chords which I learned, and I said, okay, let's see whether I can put together a song. And I did this. This is called the blues genre. So you say that you have to play these chords and all that. Okay, since it's about design, let me not worry too much about music. That'll also happen. I have this fantasy of making my own album. One day I may. Okay, so what happens is, now somebody may think that, okay, this guy just started playing the guitar. What is he doing with a song? Is there a rule which says that no, you can't produce? You should not worry about these kind of artificial definitions. You have an intention and a reason to express that intention out. So keep expressing it with as much information you have and as much knowledge as you have, and you keep trying it out. Keep producing a pot. Keep producing the pot. Keep producing the pot. So keep iterating. That's called iteration. So as you produce, as you rotate the wheel, you produce something. That's called an iteration. So you have to iterate. You have to keep producing things fast. Speed. Speed is of importance. Lots of speed. So you need to keep doing that. And as you do that, get all the small things out of the way. Get to know your stuff. You will know physical things like what is a neck and things like that. Get to know some basic fundamentals. And then you can carry on. Now what many students do is they dwell. Because I'm a creative designer, so I have to think a lot. And I'm a software designer, so I have to think a lot. I have to think and read fat books. Yeah, you need to. You need to think. You need to think a lot. You need to think. You need to read fat books. All those things are there. JavaScript reference, so fat. PHP reference, so fat. Huge. Architects, time saver standards, so huge. You get a sprain lifting it. So the problem is, don't dwell on all that. Read in a focused manner for the end result which you want. What's the problem which you're trying to solve? And read for that. Read for that part of the problem. Okay, I'll give another lesson on how to do reading and things like that later. But that's the same way with music. So you don't say, oh, you know what, you know only 3 chords. How can you write a song? What about the other chords? Okay, I don't know the other chords. Fine, so let me see what I can do with 3 chords which I know. So you have to fall in love with what you have. There's a nice song by America which says, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. Okay, so you love the things which you know and do something with that. So, as a designer, you are expressing your intention, you're getting the small things out of the way, you're iterating, and you're developing your pot, and you're continuously working on, you're not dwelling too long on any one thing. Okay, but I think I skipped a few important things. One very important thing is, there's some need for rigor. Everything has got rigor. You can't just arbitrarily, I'm very creative, so I have to do things arbitrarily, like whatever, like it just comes out of my head, and I don't want to explain anything. Okay, your choice, you don't want to explain it. But The world will want to know why it works and why is it your solution is the solution for the problem which you're solving. So you need to know and you need to express things. You have to have a bed of rigor. You have to be rigorous in whatever you're doing. So each step of the way, each turning of the pot, though it's done fast, you have to do it accurately as you can. For example, one thing you cannot skip when you play music, when you play the guitar, you can't say that, no, I don't want to tune the guitar. You have to tune the guitar. Boring things. When you are an architect, you have to draw. You need to know how to use your pencil. What is a section line? What is a plan? How do you cut a section? How do you see? From which side do you see? So all those things, okay, stupid drafting conventions, but you need to know a little bit of all that, because those are the basic things which will put you on the path of being rigorous in your design. To be rigorous in your design, you can't say, oh, I have approximately tuned my guitar. No, you cannot do that. You have to accurately tune your guitar. So if you don't know how to tune, okay, it's in tune. Okay, if you don't know how to tune, get a tuner, put it there, and it'll read out and tell you whether the guitar is in tune. After some time, you'll know how to do it by ear. Okay, it's in tune. So now, the other thing about rigor is there's a little bit of maths in everything. People think that, you know what, he's playing music is very creative, so he just produces music. No, it doesn't happen like that. Even the wildest of rock guitarist will be tuning his guitar, and he will have to respect the maths which is there in the guitar. Like, for example, every wild guitarist has to use these frets. Now, these frets are arranged in a geometric progression where each step is 12th root of 2 away from the next one. So you have this frequency multiplied by 12th root of 2, you get this frequency. This frequency, again, you keep multiplying by 12th root of 2, 12th root of 2. 12 times you do that, you get an octave. So that's 12th root of 2. So that's a maths in that. And if you're a beginner, you have to take a pen and paper and you have to figure out which are the points at which you are touching your fingers for your chords, and that will give you a clue about what could be pleasing with that chord. So if I play this, these are the notes. So okay, you take a pen and paper, so you know what, I can play this. When I play this chord, why? Because these are the same note. And that's for the next chord. So, some basic rigor. You can't pluck things logic out of the air. This logic has to fit together into, what is it called? Into a cohesive construct. No, that's too difficult to understand. It's called something. Anyway, you have to put all these things together and it has to have no internal contradictions. So you can't avoid that. Whatever designing, whatever music, whatever head-banging music you do, you have to respect that. No choice. Because those are the foundations on which proper things will evolve. You have to get that part right. The logic of doing things. People say, oh, the moment you introduce logic and maths and all the creativity is gone. It's gone. No, it doesn't go anywhere. Within that construct of all the logic and everything, you can still do wild things. Absolutely wild things. Okay, I don't know that was wild, but that was spontaneous. I did something. Because there is a need for me to tell you about design, and I say that design is not something which you just pluck out of the air and because you're very creative. No, everybody is creative. You ask a chartered accountant, is he creative? He'll say, I'm very creative with my balance sheets. Well, he's creative. That's the way he looks at it. So creativity is not the whole soul. You don't own it. Nobody owns creativity. Everybody can be creative in his own way. So you don't worry about that. Everybody is creative. So, to be creative, you should know what the rules are, the basic underlying rules, the basic rigor, and then, if you want, you can break the rules if you feel so. Locomotive breath. Whatever. Did a bad job. Anyway, that is locomotive breath by a bit of locomotive breath by Jethro Tull. And when you play this, you're not actually playing any chord. You're just playing noise. You're making noise. So you broke the rules. Not played anything. So there you are. You can be creative. You broke the rules. You're not following anything. But you know why you broke the rules. You know the rules so that you can break them if you want to. So there goes a whole lot of students who get disappointed because, my God, Sab was not telling me to be creative. What? He's asking me to know the rules. Yeah. Only if you know the rules, you can break them. If you didn't know the rules, for all you know, you may do some boring stuff and actually do the rules. And you think, and you thought you were creative. So, what is the summary? The summary is, design is the expression of an intention to solve some problem, contribute to the world in your way. Be an architect, be a software designer, be a musician. You are trying to solve problems. A musician is solving his own problems. He's taking it out from here and solving it and putting it in front of the world. Maybe the world sees that and say, oh, okay, I can use that music to solve my problems. So the musician contributes that way. The architect designs spaces. The software designer starts working out on software. But underlying that, there's a basic set of principles, which is you have to iterate, you have to be a potter. And as you make the pot, as you make your design, as you make your music, you have to do all the small things out of the way. You have to learn your stuff. You have to learn all the instruments which you use. You can't give excuses. A lot of people give excuse of creativity. This T-square is restraining me. You know what? It's restraining me. I can't design. Fine. Okay, so that's your problem. So you need to know your instruments. You need to know the basics. You need to know the basic rules. Then you go wild and then you do things. The part which I have to tell a lot of students, young students especially when they have just come out of college, is they are all looking up to the teacher. Oh, what do I do next? Why you have to look up to anybody? You don't have to. At one point in time, a student is going to grow up and do better things than the teacher. That's the whole idea of being a teacher. If the teacher is here, the student is here, the teacher says, okay, come up till me. Now what has he done? He's made a student go only up till there. The student has to go much more than that. Teacher can remain there. How does it matter? So you have to produce things and design things quickly, fast, whatever, and You have to go on the path of keeping on improving that pot as you keep designing. So for that, you have to wake up every day and say, I'm going to be a better person today than what I was yesterday. That's it. As simple as that. I'll do something better today than what I did yesterday. I'll do something today than what I did yesterday, and so on and so forth. And it'll go on and on. Where it reaches, somebody can improve very fast. Somebody will improve in his own pace. Doesn't matter. Why you have to compare anybody? So it does not really matter. You don't have to do things. In fact, you should never do things what others are doing. One of the reasons why I play music and play most of my own stuff is because I really don't know whether I can actually get all that emotions and everything which somebody else played in his music. So I play my music because I know what I am talking about. Okay? I don't know whether it is good or bad because it's coming from inside me. So I'm solving my problem, not yours. Unlike other designers. So how does it matter? So I know a few chords, so I play a song based on that. And I use that similar approach for many other things. But in other things, unlike in music, in architecture and software design, there's a responsibility of solving somebody else's problem, not your problem. Okay, so you have to be a little careful. You can't just say that, oh, you know what, I know 3 things, so I'm going to make a building or whatever. You have to probably know 30 things or 300 things. So you have to be rigorous. You have to be very rigorous while designing. While producing music also, you have to be very, very, very rigorous. Okay, so be original. Iterate. Break rules if required. So that's the lesson for lesson 1 of what is design. Thank you.